Tapplocks are the next generation of smart locks that you never have to worry about passcodes or keys ever again. Welcome everybody, this is Eric with Modern Day Reviews. We're going to be taking a look at the Tapplock Lite and its big brother, the Tapplock 1 Plus. I want to thank the fine folks over at Tapplock for sending these out for a full review. I'll be leaving affiliate links down below if you want to get more information, so definitely check those out. Now, I remember my first experience with padlocks was back in middle school when I had to remember the padlock combination to my hall locker. First week, I definitely forgot it a couple times or couldn't figure out how to put in the combination, and then occasionally throughout the year, I would have one of those senior moments or just be stressed out and couldn't remember the combination and I couldn't get in my locker. Well, these days you don't have to remember combinations or keys or even having to bring your phone along. With the Tapplocks, all you need to do is have your fingerprint, which can't get rid of really, it comes with you at all times, and just put it onto the sensor, and within a second or so it opens right up. Now, two different Taplocks are very similar in functionality, but in design they are both different. Tapplock Lite is much smaller and weighs a lot less, which comes in around 2.5 ounces, whereas its big brother, the Tapplock 1 Plus, comes in at a hefty 9.5 ounces. Now, the major difference also is the water resistance. You don't want to use a Tapplock Lite outside where it can get wet, where the Tapplock 1 Plus definitely can go outside on the shed, can get wet, can get into the snow, and you don't have to worry about it. And then there's another physical design difference when it comes to the on-off button. On the Tapplock 1 Plus, there's a physical button on the bottom that you need to press before you can put your fingerprint onto the sensor. It's not a huge inconvenience, but in the dark or in a rush, it can be a little hard to find. Where I really like the design in the Tapplock Lite, where the actual on and off button is built into the shackle, so you can just push up onto the lock and it'll turn right on, and you don't have to reposition your fingers. Now, when it comes to powering these up, the Tapplock Lite has a micro USB plug on the bottom. I would love for it to have a USB-C, but these locks did come out a couple years ago, so micro USB was very standard and everybody has them, so if you don't have yours, you can ask someone for it. Whereas the Tapplock 1 Plus has a proprietary magnetic wire, so if you happen to lose that wire or if it breaks, unfortunately you're not able to charge this up anymore. Now, you can buy an additional wire. I think they sell it on the website for about $9 plus like $7 or $8 shipping, so you're looking at a $17, $18 item where it just doesn't make sense. I wish they would put micro USB or even better USB-C into the Tapplock 1 Plus. And when it comes to battery life on the 1 Plus, they say it lasts about a year, and on the Lite version, it's about 8 months. If by chance when you go to turn on the lock and it's dead, you can easily just plug it into a battery pack for about 8 seconds, and you'll be able to unlock it. Now, most people are going to be unlocking this with their fingerprint, which you can store up to 100 fingerprints of your own fingerprints or someone else's, but you can also unlock this with the app, and you can also use a Morse code. Now, using the app is straightforward. You just set this up. You use Bluetooth. It's very simple. You can share it out with multiple people. They can then use their Bluetooth in their phone to unlock it if you give them access, which you can restrict access to the number of times or certain times of the day or just one time. It's all up to you of how much access you want to give other people. Now, when it comes to the Morse code, this is something. It's kind of a little gimmicky. I'm not quite sure why you would want to use Morse code, but it does add an additional way of opening this up. Now, I guess the person you're sharing this out with doesn't have a phone and doesn't have a fingerprint pre-programmed. I guess you could give them the Morse code, but honestly, it does take a little practice to figure out how to use the Morse code, because you got to triple tap the power button, and then you have to figure out the short and the long, and how long do you actually have to do it. And honestly, it took me probably about 5 to 10 times before I got this thing down, and I don't understand why people would use the Morse code, but it's there if you want it. Setting this up is super easy. Everything is done through the app and through Bluetooth. Once it's all set up, you're good to go. It does store up to 100 fingerprints per lock. Now, when it comes to the fingerprints, I do recommend that you program more fingerprints for the exact same finger, because the sensor is very, very sensitive, and if the finger is not put on there exactly the same way each and every time, it won't work. So the best thing to do is to set a different fingerprint for the same finger at a little different angle. So no matter which angle your fingerprint is on the sensor, it'll still open up for you. Now, if you guys have any questions, definitely check out my full pros and cons list on my website. There'll be a link in the top right or in the description below. Also, hit me up on Twitter at ModernDayTech, and I will see you guys on next video. Thanks for watching.